So me and my dad are fighting again because I asked about my mom again. Um, so he never wants to talk about her, and I want to. But so okay, so long story short, she died when I was 6, and she was apparently like fucked up. But I didn't get to see her the whole year up until her death. Like I didn't see her for a whole year. So a bunch of stuff happened that I'm not aware of, and I'm not saying it's his fault. It's just that I just want to know one good thing. Like I only know bad things about her. I just want to know one good thing, but every time I ask, he just shuts down. Like doesn't want to talk about it. Which makes me so mad because like he's such a hypocrite. Like he expects me to share everything with him, but he doesn't share with me. Like I know it was a rough time for him, but I deserve to like know more about my own mother, you know? So let me know what I should do.
So, story time. This is what I think I know about my family. So, my maternal grandfather was the head of engineering department in some like big university, I don't know where. And my father was one of his favorite students, you know, A+ student, high achiever. Apparently, my grandfather collected students. Like, he would pick his favorite and invite them over for dinner and socialize with them. He was kind of like Professor Slughorn, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so it was at one of these dinners where he introduced my dad to his daughter, who is my mom. My mom is super pretty, but kind of fucked up, according to my dad. She's like undiagnosed bipolar and a lot of other things that were going on with her. Anyways, my grandfather thinks she needs a man to take care of her, so my dad and my mom start dating, and they sort of like each other, I think. My dad always said that my grandfather like forced them together. If you think my grandfather was overbearing and controlling, you would be right. I was gonna say like for part 2, but part 2 is already up. So my dad graduates top of his class and my mother doesn't because she literally can't get it together and she just wants to write poetry and shit. And she doesn't actually finish her undergrad because they get pregnant with me. And so my grandfather's like, well, now you gotta get married. My mom and dad get married and 3 months later they have me, and it's not like a happy marriage. They're just like two incompatible people. Anyways, a couple months later she gets in a car crash during like a manic spell and gets hospitalized and then gets put on pain meds and gets addicted. If you know anything about pain medication, you know that it's highly addictive, and my mom had a very addictive personality, so she got fucked on them. Anyways, when I was 4, I was left home alone with her and she almost burned down the house. So my dad's like, dude, you gotta go to rehab. So she goes to rehab and she goes and she gets clean and she comes home and everything's fine for a while, but then out of the blue she runs off with me to Italy and leaves a note for my dad saying she wants a divorce. Part 3 is already up. So she and I go and live in Italy for the summer in the mountains with an old family friend of my grandfather's. Meanwhile, my dad's like, dude, you took my daughter to Italy without telling me. Thus begins a really long legal battle where everything goes to shit. We come back to Canada and my mom starts using again, so they finally get a divorce and my dad gets sole custody of me and wants nothing to do with my mom, so she goes and lives with my grandfather. My grandfather's super pissed that my dad won't let my mom see me anymore, and they get into a huge argument about it. And my dad's like, it's for real safety. Anyways, my mom dies a couple months later of a drug overdose. Shocker. At the funeral, they get really into it, and my grandfather blames my dad for my mom's death, and he punches him in the face, and ever since then, they refuse to talk to each other, and that's literally all I know.
Is this real? How can I be sure? I don't know what this feeling is, but leaves me wanting more. I've been running, but I haven't moved a bit. I don't know where I'm going, but my thoughts led me to this. Am I broken? Am I drawn a blank? I don't know what has happened, but I know I've gone insane. I've been sick, and I'm looking for the cure. I don't know what that feeling was, but it left me at the door. Right now, I'm falling apart. I don't know where I am, I don't know where to start. And these days, I'm trying to feel. I don't know who I am, don't know if that's real. Is this real? How can I be sure?